Welcome back. In today's mission, we will be taking out an AWACS being supported by 2 flankers. That by itself is not very difficult, however, as you will see in just a second, the weather is not exactly cooperating with us. We need to fly below 1,000 feet, and we must maintain speed between 400 and 500 knots in order to reach the intercept point at the correct time. These waypoints are very specific. You are supposed to follow them precisely, otherwise you will lose your way through the mountains and expose yourself by going above the mountain peaks, which is something you don't exactly want to do.
This is Springfield. We are airborne and commencing operations.
Copy, Springfield. Follow your flight plan and keep as low as possible to avoid detection.
You will notice that I will be using the HSI more than the heads-up display, as the heads-up display doesn't quite work very well. As you can see, it's very clearly outlined where I'm supposed to head to, and that line that moves through the middle of the HSI will let you know if you're directly flying along the path you're supposed to be flying. Whereas the navigational cues and the heads-up display are sometimes wonky. The waypoint ahead will lead us to a river that we will follow all the way up towards a mountain pass. There are quite a few turns and bends in the road, but as long as you follow your waypoints and you follow the river, everything should be just dandy.
Springfield, this is Magic. Looks like our boy is taking the bait. If we can keep him interested, he should arrive at the intercept point in about 7 minutes.
Those accents are amazing. So what's happening with those guys is that they are a mock seed flight, which will hopefully make the AWACS vector towards us to intercept. And right around here is the river that we're supposed to head to, and we're just going to follow this all the way through our waypoints.
This is Springfield. We are approaching Zinvali, preparing to bank left.
Magic is tracking you at Pasanari. Left turn ahead. Stay with the river.
Springfield, this is Magic. Target is 15 miles from Bullseye. ETA 3 minutes. Overlord, this is Springfield. We are approaching the mountain pass.
Copy, Springfield. Stay over the river. Hard right just before the first snowy peak. Pick up the road and the power lines and follow them down into the valley.
I actually screwed this up the very first time, and I didn't make that hard right turn. It was right here, just before the White Mountain snowy peaks. As you can see, these are the power lines, and this is the road we're supposed to follow.
Springfield, Magic has you on course through the pass. You should see the next river just up ahead. Springfield, target is approaching the intercept point. Attack should be viable for approximately 5 minutes.
Visual on Kazrigi, preparing to bank left.
You have reached the intercept point. Radar on.
Okay, so it is time to dump 2 out of our 3 fuel tanks, and now we just need to close in with the enemy. The problem is that they have a height advantage over us, so they will be able to shoot at us first. As long as you keep a cool level head here, you can still pull this off. You're gonna need to climb up to get to them, otherwise you will need to close in very, very close before being able to fire from underneath at this altitude. But you see, I will climb. Here's the first shot. Now, there's still some time before that missile reaches you, but as long as you pop some chaff, turn away a little bit, make that missile work for it. Here's our shot. We're going to fire and break away. Now, watching his back, I have completely forgotten to tell my wingman to actually engage bandits. And as you know, unless you tell him to do something, he'll just keep flying alongside you, even if it means dying. I accidentally misclicked here, which is why the chat menu was brought up. Now, my wingman's in front of me to my left, and I'm looking out behind me to see if there's any more missile shots. As I'm turning to the right, I will adjust my scan range here, and make sure I lock this guy up, and fire as I'm turning. Don't just keep pressing towards him. Fire and turn away. There's no need to close in. Now this is where keeping track of your enemy bodes well for you. As I'm looking, I see something over there, and yep, that's a missile shot. There's no missile warning, therefore this is not a radar guided by a heat seeker. Pull your throttle to idle, pop some flares, and it's already went stupid. Now, he kept his energy up and stayed up high above me. Since he broke away, I can just keep on chasing him. He just fired, but I think that went after my wingman, so I'm just gonna try and follow him. Except I'm having some trouble maintaining speed myself. That was a little bit of a BFM error on my part. And that splash right there is my wingman. But that's alright. We're about to get revenge. The key here, when you're in this kind of situation, is not to pull too hard. I'm shaking all over the place, but I know this guy's not going to get his nose on me very fast, so I'm able to take my time here with this shot. And boom, there it goes. Job done. Okay, so both the flanker escorts are down, but now we need to chase that flanker. He's flying away from us, so first we need to change our radar to medium PRF, and we're going to scan high since it is an AWACS and they love flying high.
Overlord Springfield, A-50's escort is down.
Springfield, this is Overlord. Radar has detected multiple Russian aircraft taking off.
And that's a hit right there. You can see the little bits and pieces falling off of him. It's weird because there was no actual splash. It's either that, or they're starting to dump their cargo to go faster. Over here, we actually experienced some fluttering. We don't have an asymmetrical load, and we're actually not flying that fast, so this was kind of weird.
Springfield copies, RTB.
But if you pull the throttle back, slow down, the fluttering goes away, and everything's back to okie dokie hunky dory again. Okay, so I skipped a lot of that footage, but nothing happened. I just climbed above the cloud altitude, conserved some fuel, and flew straight back home. Those 29s behind me, there's 3 groups of them, were chasing me for a while, but then they all started dropping from my RWR, so they all turned away or just lost interest. In any case, the hardest point here is using your ILS in order to find the airfield. As you can see, visibility is pretty piss poor. So if you don't know how to do ILS, probably a good idea to start learning. I'm not going to be doing tutorials for that. I'm sure you can find something in the manual, or there have been other videos released showing you how to do this. Obviously, I've done one for the A10C Warthog, and the principle is pretty much the same.